Hey folks, today we will talk about the Serbian mentality as it pertains to work. There's lots of work to be done to describe this, and it's a very interesting topic, so let's go.
Belgrade Beat, the pulse of the city.
A lot of people will say, Eric, how can you generalize like that? People are different. And well, not everybody's going to be like I describe in Serbia. There's lots of different mentalities here. But I'm going to talk about the one that I view as the predominant mentality towards work in Serbia. And you'll see it everywhere around you when you're in places like Belgrade. Now, I'm actually not the first person to talk about such things. Over 100 years ago, a guy named Archibald Rice released a book called Chuti Serbi, which detailed lots of aspects about Serbian mentality and why he loves Serbian people so much, just like I do. So he did write a lot about Serbians and work ethic and all that stuff, and basically, it's very similar to what you can notice today, almost as if in over 100 years, things have stayed the same. Throughout the, wars and all that stuff, there's something in the Serbian mentality towards a lot of things that has stayed the same. So this video might attract a little bit of hate from people who don't like me putting my finger on the wound of why this country is so poor and why this country is suffering economically. And a lot of people want to blame somebody else, some other nation, some other class of politicians, some other international group of people for making this country poor. But I think in addition to all that stuff, you have to look at the actual habits of people and how they work. And then you'll get a picture of, yeah, that does contribute to the economy and economic transactions and growth and all that stuff not going as well as it could if people were more responsible and more focused on business and getting things done. So this is going to be a deep dive into the Serbian mentality, and I think this will be most useful for people who are, in Serbia and are Serbian, and they're interested in doing better and breaking the cycle on a lot of these habits and mentalities, and foreigners who are looking to work with Serbians and be here and make some sort of success in business. I'm going to give you a framework with which you can use to notice the things you see around you and to add words to what you perhaps have witnessed in the Serbian work mentality. So look for the pattern that it's always somebody else's fault. If someone's not successful in life, they'll blame someone else, blame the politicians, blame other countries, blame other people, blame the economy itself. And this is something really important to look at when you're looking at individual empowerment, because blaming other people, while it can be a thing, it's not a reason to give up. And the most successful people in life, they try different things and they fail a lot before they're successful. And basically, that's how we do it in the West as entrepreneurs and people in life and stuff like that. Whereas people here, they're very quick to give up the fight and just go back to doing nothing and sitting, in the cafe and stuff. If you meet somebody in a cafe in America, if you can, they're probably busy. But if you meet them, they'll probably tell you right off the bat what their profession is and what they do, because that's an integral part of their identity. Here, it's not the case. Here, work is something that you do so that you can be a person to enjoy your life, so that you can be somebody who makes some money so that you can enjoy life with your family and friends. And so work is less a part of people's identity here and basically more of a side thing to life. And it's not as important as having a nice family life and nice relationships with your friends and stuff like that. It's kind of like a side thing. So family life is very important to people in Serbia, and it pretty much goes above all. If you had a job and it was impinging on your ability to be a good father, brother, mother, daughter, whatever it is, you would probably quit that job if you have the Serbian mentality. And so family is really strong here. Whereas in the West, you would have lots of stories of people who kind of just alienated themselves from their family so they could succeed in life, because that's the value that is most cherished. Whereas here, it's not. It's all about the community and the people that you love the most and being good with them and being with them. Whereas in the West, it's all about you and your success. So it's a very different sort of focus, isn't it? And you need to understand that, and that's pretty much how people think here. So people tend to have an attitude towards work, which is, I'll just do my job, it'll be good enough. and it'll be good enough to give me what I need to enjoy my life with my family. So they go to the job and they follow the instructions and they bring themselves to work. And a lot of the time they're not really emotionally invested in it, and they'll just do their job, just follow orders, and just do the thing. So rather than, excelling, rather than trying really hard, rather than, trying to make lots of money, be really successful, they're just trying to do their job. They're just trying to get on with their life, make enough money to do that. And so there's kind of a little bit of an attitude of, why should I do more? Why should I go above and beyond? Why should I do more than is required of me? If you look at the way things are in the West, basically things are not like that. We're always trying harder, we're always doing more, and there's a stark difference there. And so you have this attitude, I'm just doing my job. Why should I help you? That's not my job to help you. Why should I go above and beyond? It is what it is, deal with it. It works both ways. You can have people who are really not helping you in a customer service situation. You can have people who are actually rude, but they're doing their job. They're following the instructions as they were told to them. Or the other way it can go is you're on the bus and you haven't paid for a ticket, and the controllers go on and the bus driver doesn't cooperate at all with them, and his job is just to drive the bus. And then the ticket controllers, their job is to check a certain number of people's tickets every day and see if they've paid. And if somebody hasn't paid, tell them that they need to give them their ID. But they're not allowed to actually, touch you or check your ID. So everyone's just doing their job, and you don't show any ID. You get off the bus driver keeps driving, and the ticket inspectors move on to the next sort of easy way that they can do their job. That's an example of the I'm just following my job mentality, and how it works if you want to not pay for the bus. So customer service here can range from absolutely wonderful to absolutely horrible. If people are enjoying helping you and really want to give you a great experience, they will. But if they're not feeling it for whatever reason, they will just do their job and say, okay, yep, fine, here's your food, or okay, yes, we will follow this procedure and all this stuff. So a lot of people from the West, where it's almost a requirement and it's almost expected that you're gonna turn it on. You're gonna turn it on to make people happy and give that sort of fake American smile and sort of just say, how can I help you today? And be really perky by default, even though you don't mean it. Here, that's not so much the case. If someone gives you good customer service here, they're in an environment where they feel comfortable. They are in a job where they are enjoying themselves and there's a good vibe, and they're extending that to you. If there's a bad vibe, they're extending that to you. That's the problem. So customer service here isn't inherently good or inherently bad. There's a range of experiences. So if you come here with your American sense of entitlement on how people in the customer service sector should behave, you're likely to be disappointed. But if you come here with a good attitude, give them some energy, and be willing to receive some good or bad energy back sometimes, then the people with good energy are going to really go above and beyond, because they'll feel passion, they'll feel warmth, and they'll feel in a position to actually give you the best of what they are to offer because they feel like it. So what do Serbian people feel like doing? Well, they really love sitting in the cafe with their friends. Now it's a day in February which is quite warm, and basically they're enjoying sitting on the patio. So they want to feel that. They want to feel a connection with the collective. They want to feel like they can let the sort of duties of life breathe. And well, it's Friday afternoon, and I don't think these people are going back to the office. And the mentality is pervasive in all of work, and they want to enjoy, even when they're at work. Basically, ideal Serbian day would be when they are not having to do work. And an ideal Serbian work day would be when they have to do little work in the office. So you'll have people in the office who, when they're there, or when they're at work, they'll feel kind of like, I would say animals at the zoo. Whereas they want to be free in their natural habitat. And this is what that looks like. So don't be surprised if the attitude when they're at work is not as great as people in the Western countries when they force themselves to give great customer service. No, people here will do their job and they'll do it reasonably well according to the instructions so they can get back as soon as possible to enjoying life. And well, they really do enjoy life, and that's one of the great things about living here. But it doesn't really make for such a great economy, and it doesn't really get stuff done as much as the West. But the lifestyle here, if you can come as a digital nomad, is great, because at any time when you step away from your duties, you can find lots of people to enjoy life with, whichever day and time it is. So as a Western person, you'll want to get things done, and people here will be like, no, relax. We will get things done, but we're going to do it while enjoying ourselves and making the most of our lives. And that's what you'll see almost everywhere. And it's great if you're trying to enjoy. But for getting stuff done, I mean, there's better cultures. You can move to Germany, you can move to Canada. Lots of Serbian people want to do that. But I would maintain that you don't have to move to another country to get work done here. You just need to focus. And you just need to tune out the noise and maybe not go out with people when you should be working, and not kind of let the focus waver in the name of enjoying, which a lot of people will do here, and a lot of people make their priority to enjoy. So maybe don't relax all the time if you're here as a foreigner, and maybe just balance the pleasures of life, which are abundant here, with actually excelling in what you do and inspiring Serbian people to excel at what they do. So if you can get Serbian people to enjoy what they do and feel passion for that, then this is one of the best techniques to get Serbs on your side to do great work. I mean, whether it's selling rakia on the street here on Skadarlia, or anything related in the food industry, tends to go really well because they feel a passion for, getting things done, and they feel that their work is not just work, but it's fun. And so the most important thing would be to invest them in feeling a part of something, feeling a part of greatness, and feeling a part of really helping people, giving great hospitality and stuff like that. And then I think that Serbian people will excel. Serbian people will be your best workers if you make them feel like their work actually means something. The food industry is a great example because basically great food, everybody knows it. And if you can train people how to be a part of that, then you'll have something great, and it will be easy to succeed in producing something great because people will be on your side, a member of your team, and they'll really feel a part of something. But where you find Serbian people working in an environment where they don't feel passion for their work, in the public sector, for example, then don't be surprised if the customer service or the way that they serve you, the person who's keeping them from relaxing and enjoying well at work, is rather bad. But, well, that's just how it is here, and that's how people are here, and you can't change it, so you might as well embrace it and deal with it. But you can get some of the best experiences where people are feeling passion, and some of the worst experiences where people are not feeling passion and are just stuck in the grind of being at that work. And it's the same anywhere, but I think it's amplified here in Serbia. So passion is the overriding principle, and that's why people prefer to do work with their friends. And it doesn't really help the economy that everyone's doing work with their friends, making deals with their friends, and only doing hard work when it is for their friends or people that they know are connections. I wanted to say corruption, but I said connections. But this is the root of corruption. This is why people, favor their friends and actually bend the rules for their friends, because this is the Balkans, folks. Rules are really easy to bend here. Enforcement is here and there, but not always there. And basically, you can work according to your passion with your friends. And if you're a government employee, you will actually work to benefit your friends and sort of put your friends in positions that support you. And it's one big happy family whenever possible. And bureaucracy is kind of miserable because people are there to look out for their family. And people are there to make enough money so they can fuck off from work and go and enjoy life in a cafe. And so basically, friends come first. And that's a good value to have in life. But it does get in the way of careers being successful. It does get in the way of systems functioning smoothly. it does get in the way of a certain amount of social progress, and I want you to think about that because it's very important to understand these things, what's good about them, what's bad about them, and all of these mentalities that I'm talking about in this video. Basically, it's very important to think about what's good, what's bad, and what is the way forward, and what is the way to get this country out of, being one of the poorest countries in Europe. And it's definitely working a little harder. It's making systems that actually produce abundance rather than, just enough. A system that produces abundance for you and your family. Even if you have to sacrifice some family time, even if you have to sacrifice some, pleasure in order to work a little harder and push through those walls and get some success, your family is going to be ultimately a lot happier if you're a successful person and you've got lots of money, rather than all of the problems that come with scraping by on 3-digit per month euro salary. So think about that. And I hope this is one of the key insights in the video, is that maybe work a little harder and spend a bit less time trying to relax and enjoy when at work. And I'm all for having at least one day a week, Sunday, to just relax and do nothing and not have any plans or obligations to anybody. But, when you commit to something, you should do it. And when you actually decide to make a contract or something like that with some other person, you should follow it and live by it and make that one of your core values, because then you'll be ahead of a lot of people who just talk. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can do that. And then when you actually want them to deliver, they fail. Why? Because they're with their family, because their mother called them, because, they have to go, and whatever the reason is, an excuse why they will not come through with their word. So think about that. So yeah, it can be really hard to find good and reliable people here who will show up and do a service consistently. And if you find people like that, really treat them well. Be their friends, because they need that. And also be somebody who's always paying them, not like trying to, stiff them on, negotiate down the price and all that stuff. If you find good people here, treat them well and give them a situation where they can actually thrive. Because, I've hired a lot of people to do various tasks here in Serbia, such as a good example would be a cleaning lady for my apartment, to have somebody come regularly and do what needs to be done to clean the stuff. Because I'm not the sort of person who really enjoys cleaning, cleaning my apartment and stuff like that. I'd rather have somebody else just come and, wipe all that stuff away. And to find somebody who's willing to come and put in a decent effort consistently, like every 2 weeks or whatever, it's hard because people have all sorts of distractions here that will keep them from doing good work. And even when you do get them, it's hard to even tell them to work a little bit harder. Yeah, go a little bit deeper behind the toilet and clean that little bit of dirt, because they don't really feel a passion for their work. They're doing it because it pays money, and that's it. One thing to watch out for is the Meister mentality. This means that people in Serbia are meisters at doing things well, apparently, but there was a study in 2005 that actually dictated that Serbian people have the highest self-esteem in the world. And this means that, well, there's a couple things here. If you find people who will do things for you in work, then they'll likely do very good work unless they have an overinflated sense of ego about what they're doing. So they'll think that they're the best at whatever they're doing. They will think that they're amazing at whatever they are setting out to do, and somebody who's, for example, doing home renovations will actually be incompetent, but they'll think they're doing a great job. And yeah, you just have to watch for that, because if people think they're doing a great job, but they haven't embraced the standards of their industry and they don't know what people do in other countries, the work could be bad. And they'll think it's great, and if something's wrong, they'll blame anybody but themselves for why it's wrong, or they'll be like, it is what it is, man, just like deal with it. And so the Meister mentality is something where Serbian people will think that they're better than they actually are at things. And it can really be a disadvantage here, despite the fact that high self-esteem will actually mean that people do a good job in a lot of situations. In the situations where they don't, it can really be a bad result. And then there's the academic thing where people go to school and they learn stuff and they believe that because they have a piece of paper that says they're an expert in that thing, they're actually an expert. Whereas in other countries, there's many more standards and controls that people are subjected to. I'm not saying there's an absence of that here. There's lots of standards and controls, and there's lots of rules that people here don't follow. And people in Serbia tend to think that if they go to school and become an expert in something, that they deserve a job, they deserve success. And that tends to not be the case because, well, you know, the world doesn't work like that. The economy doesn't work like that. There's not an infinite demand for people who have a degree in something and succeed in going through school. It doesn't actually translate to the real world, but people here will feel that it should. And maybe in the times of Yugoslavia, it did, but we're not living in those times now. And so not getting work done is okay here because, well, you live for today and we'll see about tomorrow. And, well, companies even behave like this. Companies will pay late, tell you they'll do something and not, and they won't feel bad about it. And that's one of the problems, you know. If I actually say I'm going to do something and I don't actually deliver, I feel bad about it. But a lot of Serbian people, they'll be fine with it. And, well, you'll see what kind of result that brings when you're trying to get things done, because it's not good. It's not good, folks. The best advice I would give for entrepreneurs here is ensure that you're getting money from the outside and you're hiring the most talented people, filtering a lot, and motivating them and making them a part of your team, making them feel like they're a part of something and that they're valid and they're valued and all that sort of stuff. And if you do that, you can have a really good vibe with your Serbian team if they're inspired. People here will do great work and it will be better than, you know, a lot of countries where the standards are different. I don't know how to tell you, but Serbian people need to be inspired. They need to be your friend if you're working with them, and it will be actually a lot better if you make a good sort of collective vibe and bring them on board on your mission and not just rely, hey, you do this, I pay you, because Serbian people are not really motivated by money like a lot of people in other countries. And what would my message be to Serbian people who want to be successful, who want to actually make a future in this country without moving to places like Germany? Because moving to Germany, you'll have their standards and you'll be forced into that. But you can do that here. You just have to cut out the noise. You just need to actually realize that this country has varying standards and you need to constantly better your standards, referencing to an international sort of way of looking at things rather than just how things are here and how people are here. You need to be better, more efficient and all that stuff if you're going to move your life here. And people here respect that. They respect when people deliver a good result on time, as agreed. And you can draw inspiration from more successful countries. And if you can make money here, your life is great. If you can earn enough to live a great life here, Serbia is amazing, guys. You just need to know a few things, actually, about the mentality here of people, and the mentality that might be holding you back in your life, and the mentality that might be holding your friends back in your life. And try to gravitate towards people who are successful, hardworking, and are actually delivering on what they say and living their word and stuff like that. That's my advice, actually. So, what do you think, guys? What do you think of the comments? Have I got some things wrong? Have I got some things right? I've lived here for a long time, but I never actually earned money in the local economy. And that's because I don't trust it. I trust more the Western economies in Canada and the United States and United Kingdom, where I'm able to actually work with these people with my virtues that I've established in my life, my work ethic, and get money that's sent to Serbia so I can live a life of passion, like people here do so well. So what do you think of the comments? Thanks for watching this video on Belgrade Beat, Serbian Mentality Insights. Tell me, what is the Serbian mentality issue you would like to see me talk about next? And thanks for watching, and take care, guys. Bye now.